Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. At ang aking topic po na didiscuss ngayong gabi ito ay tungkol sa dalawang bagay. Una po ay difference between evaluation and assessment as used in the field of education. And the second one is the different kinds of evaluation and the different kinds of assessment. Okay, let us have first discuss the discussion on the difference between evaluation and assessment in education. Personally, akala ko ay magkapareho lang itong dalawang terminologies na ito nung una. Pero upon reading the meaning of each terms, sila po pala ay magkaiba. At ating i-discuss yung 5 contrast between assessment and evaluation. Okay, so the first one is that assessment focuses on measuring student learning outcomes, while evaluation focuses on making judgments about the quality or effectiveness of a program, product, or process. So kung isipin po natin, ang assessment ay most of the time sa classroom, samantalang ang evaluation could be school-wide or division-wide o mas malawak pa. Focuses on measuring student learning outcomes. Samantala yung isa, effectiveness of a program, product, or process. Okay, let us now proceed to the second difference between evaluation and assessment. Assessment emphasizes the collection of data to inform instruction. So doon lang po, instruction sa loob ng classroom. While evaluation emphasizes the interpretation and use of assessment data to make informed decisions. Okay, so gagamitin yung assessment data para makagawa ng mga desisyon. So ang evaluation ay pwedeng gumamit ng maraming assessments para makalikha ng magandang desisyon. Pwedeng school-wide or division-wide o mas malawak pa. The third difference between evaluation and assessment. Assessment typically occurs during the learning process, while evaluation occurs at the end of a program or a project. Okay, fourth, assessment provides feedback to students and instructors to improve learning, while evaluation provides information for decision making, accountability, and improvement. And the last one, assessment often uses formative evaluation methods, while evaluation often uses summative evaluation methods. Okay, dumako na po tayo sa pangalawang bahagi ng aking topic. So, after nating ma-define o ma-distinguish yung difference ng assessment and evaluation, ay tatalakayin po natin itong different kinds of evaluation. So, as you can see in the screen, mayroon pong siyam na uri ng evaluation. Okay? At saka pagkatapos na nating malaman yung pagkakaiba nilang dalawa, kaya mas minabuti ko na sa pag-present ng aking different kinds of evaluation ay gagamit ako ng mga researches, particularly yung questionnaires or test na ginamit sa researches. Kasi nga ang researches, ang evaluation ay patungkol sa program, project. So kaya mas maigi na questionnaires or test na ginamit sa actual research yung aking ipipresent. At doon naman sa kinds of assessment, since sabi nga doon sa kanilang pagkakaiba ay nakafocus yon sa classroom, student learning. Kaya doon sa part na yon, sa discussion on the kinds of assessment ay aking share no yung aking experience kasi nga of my 14 years no in teaching. Bibigyan natin ng halimbawa. So mas marami pong presentation no yung aking gagawin sa evaluation part kaysa doon sa assessment part. Okay? So kinds of evaluation. So there are 9 kinds of evaluation. Let us now go to the first one. Okay, number 1 is formative evaluation. Okay, formative evaluation is conducted during the development or implementation phase. Yan, doon po siya sa implementation phase of a program or project to identify areas for improvement. Okay, so during the development or implementation phase of a program or project. So ang aking gagamitin pong test or questionnaire na i-present sa atin ay galing sa research no, by Jennifer Peterson entitled Formative Evaluations in Online Classes na aking na-access sa eric.ed.gov. Okay, so ito po yung sample questions ng mga evaluative questions na ginamit no, doon sa research na to. Name things about this course that you feel are helpful to your learning medical terminology. So yan po. So actually madaming tanong yan. Ginamit ko lang ay 4. So again, the purpose of formative evaluation sa program, ano po yung program dyan na sinasabi? Ay yung online classes. So para yan po ay to identify areas for improvement. So ginawa yung research na to para ma-improve no yung a certain program which is the online classes. So marami pa po yan. So isa lang po yung aking ginamit. Okay, number 2, summative evaluation conducted at the end of the program. Kung yung formative po ay during, ito po ay end of a program or project to assess its overall effectiveness or impact. By the way po, ang mga evaluations na ito, na pag nandoon na yan sa questionnaire or data gathering instrument, no, test, sila ay hindi talaga distinct sa isa't isa. Sila ay interrelated. No? Pwedeng sa isang questionnaire, maraming kinds of evaluation ang present doon. Okay? So aking pong ginamit no na exam research dito no na pinagkunan ng questionnaire ay ang by Jacqueline Carnegie entitled Does Correct Answer Distribution Influence Student Choices when Writing Multiple Choice Examinations? Okay, so ito po yung sample no ng mga questions doon na kanyang ginamit na sa kanyang data gathering instrument or questionnaire. Ayan po. So, ang purpose po niyan is to assess no, the effectiveness or impact ng project or program. So, ano po ba yung project or program dyan? Or ito po, no? Student choices when writing multiple choice examinations. No? Yan ang kanyang gustong malaman. Kaya, i-evaluate. Kaya ginawa niya yung research na yan. Does correct answer distribution influence student choices when writing multiple choice examinations? Okay, pangatlo po. So, tapos na po yung formative. Pangalawa ay summative. Pangatlo, causal comparative evaluation. This examines the cause and effect relationship between variables. So, ang aking pong research na pinagkunan as a sample no, para sa pangatlong uri na ito ng evaluation ay ang strategy for estimating the effects of whole college guided pathways reform. So, ito po yung program, no? Whole college guided pathways. Okay, kung ano ba yung epekto niyan. By Amy Brown and Veronica Minaya. So ito po yung sample ng questions na ginamit, no, sa questionnaire nila na kanilang ginamit sa kanilang research. Okay. So number 1, what percentage of credit programs are organized by meta, major, or broad field? So yan lamang po ay mga sample questions. Okay, so yung pang-apat po na evaluation, na uri ng evaluation ay ang content evaluation. This examines the relevance, accuracy, and completeness of content. Okay, so yung question po, research, no, nag-aking gagamitin by Filipino din po ito, no? Si Rica May Javier. Siya po ay, hindi ako nakakamali, parang researcher from Luzon. Dito tingnan natin, in Laguna, yung research local niya ay Laguna. Ito hindi yung common questions sa research na ginagamit, no? Pag sinabing content evaluation, ang ginamit niya ditong material, no, yung sinuri niya yung content ay ang grade 9 material, no, na siguro ginagamit, no, ng mga bata kasi gusto niyang malaman kung sensitive ba, no, sa sexist language, no, yung libro na yon. So hindi siya puro questions na ditulad ng ibang evaluations kanina, no, na o aking tatalakayin. So since ito ay content evaluation, ang ginamit niyang instrument ay grade 9 material. Ang panglimang uri naman po ng evaluation ay ang tinatawag na context evaluation. This examines the context in which a program or project operates. So kung matatandaan po natin, mayroon pong tinatawag na CIPP, evaluation model. So one of those, apat na yun, CIPP. Ito, bigyan natin ng example. Research, entitled Using a CIPP based model for evaluation of teacher training programs in a private sector, EFL or institutes, by Mariam Kaksar and Company. And location po, ang research locale po nito ay sa Iran, Tehran, Iran. At ito po yung sample ng questions. So dito na po yung sagot Ito po yung sample questions na in the context component ng kanilang program. Ano po yung program? Teacher training program. So ito po yung sample ng questions. Okay, to evaluate yung context ng programa. Same research po yung aking ginamit dito sa input evaluation, which is our sixth kind of evaluation. Input evaluation examines the resources, personnel, and facilities used in a program or project. Again, yung ating program dito ay teacher training program. So ito po yung mga katanungan para ma-evaluate yung input component ng kanilang program. Trainers are competent enough to train teaching methodology and strategies to trainees. Trainers have interpersonal skills. Ayan na po, dito na po yung mga sagot. Okay, so actually marami pa yan. Kinuha ko na po yung iba. Ilan lang. Pang-pito, the process evaluation examines the procedures and activities used in a program or project. So same research po yung aking ginamit, yung by Mariam Kaksar pa rin. So ito po yung sample ng kanilang questions para sa kanilang process evaluation. Error correction techniques are instructed, lesson planning is taught. So marami pa po yan. Kaya ilan lang po yung aking ginawa. So ito po yung mga sagot, ng mga respondents nila. Trainers, trainees, evaluator. Okay, next. Product evaluation. This examines the outcomes or results of a program or project. No? Outcomes or results of a program or project. Same research pa rin po, no? Yung aking ginamit. At doon sa product component, so ito po yung sample questions na kanilang tinanong, no, sa kanilang respondents. Bahagi ng kanilang questionnaire or data gathering instrument. And then dito na tayo sa pinakahuli na uri ng evaluation, outcome evaluation. This examines the impact, no, or effects of a program or project. So ang aking ginawang halimbawa po ay research entitled Measuring the Outcomes. Yan po, yan na mismo sa title, no, of a literacy program in no-fee schools in Cape Town by Zuma and company. So ito po yung sample, no, ng questions na kanilang tinanong as part, no, ng questionnaire ng kanilang data gathering instrument, no, lalo-lalo dito sa pang-apat. So mayroong tanong yan. So ngayon po, dumako na tayo sa kinds of assessment. Nasabi ko kanina, sa kinds of evaluation, habang dinidiscuss ko yon, yung mga halimbawa ko ay galing sa mga researches, actual researches na na-search ko sa eric.ed.gov. Since sabi nga natin, yung evaluation ay parte, no, sa program project. Dito naman sa kinds of assessment, since na ating nasabi kanina, sa pagkakaiba nila ng evaluation, ito ay more on classroom, no, classroom based. Kaya alam ko na makarelate tayong lahat. So merong siyam na natukoy na assessment, no, kinds of assessment. So number 1, formative assessment conducted during the learning. Yan po. Conducted during the learning, doon sa classroom, to provide feedback and improve student learning. So ano po ito? Example po, no, yung mga quizzes natin, no, para malaman natin kung yung tinuro ba natin ay nakuha nila, no? May kasabihan nga, kung yung message sent, is message received. Kung talaga bang yung gusto mong makarating sa kanila ay nakuha. So kaya nabibigay tayo ng mga formative assessments kung naintindihan tayo, no, ng mga bata. Yung simpleng tanong natin, no, habang nagtuturo, that is considered also already a formative assessment, no? 5-item quiz, no, 10-item quiz. So any assessment, no, maraming uri ito, maraming ways, para ang purpose ay magkaroon tayo ng feedback, no, para ating masigurado na yung ating tinuturo ay napupunta talaga sa mga bata. Ngayon, pag hindi na-discover natin, hindi pala nila nakukuha, then pwedeng mag-iba tayo ng techniques or teaching method na gamitin. Okay? So that is formative assessment, no? Simple question, oral questioning, or written test, no? 5-item, 10-item, or basta exam. Pangalawa ay summative assessment. This is conducted at the end. Ayan, ano po? Kung kanina during, ito naman at the end of a lesson or course to evaluate student learning. So ano po yung halimbawa nito? Siyempre yung ating napakasikat, no, na periodic test. Okay, long test. Okay, so marami yan. Marami tayong maibigay dito na halimbawa. Basta siya ay, ito po yung conditions. End of a lesson or unit or course. Okay, dumako na po tayo sa pangatlong uri ng assessment. Okay, diagnostic assessment conducted to identify students' strengths, weaknesses, and learning needs. So, yung aking halimbawa po dito, yung tinatawag nating pre-test, no? Pre-assessment. Pre-test sa pagsisimula ng buong taunang panuruan, at yung pre-assessment, no, na ating sinasagawa bago tayo magsimula ng bagong lesson. Okay, dumako tayo sa pang-apat. achievement assessment. Now, conducted to measure student learning outcomes. Ano po kayo itong halimbawa nito? Bila sa buhay ng isang guro. Halimbawa po nito ay yung mga INSAT, yung kanilang national achievement test, na binibigay na sa atin, yung mga questions galing sa ating respective divisions. So yun po yung halimbawa ng achievement test. Or pwedeng mag-devise yung ating principal ng school-wide achievement assessment. So, panglima, aptitude assessment conducted to predict students' potential for success in a particular area. So, yung example ko po nito ay yung sa experience namin sa TLE. Nakapag grade 9, grade 10, sila ay pipili ng specialization. So, doon, bago sila makapili, binibigyan sila ng aptitude assessment. Mga tanong na kung gusto, do you like gardening? Gaano kataas yung level mo kung gusto mo yung gardening? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do you like cooking? So yung mga tanong parang ganun ang structure. Yan po ay halimbawa ng aptitude assessment. Okay, meron ito sa TESDA, yung kanilang YP4SC. Bago ka maka-enroll sa kanilang NC, dadaan ka doon, youth profiling, para malaman nila yung hilig mo. Baka naman yung pinipili mo ay hindi ka pala magsa-success doon. Kaya binibigyan ng aptitude test. Example dito, yung sa amin sa specialization at saka yung sa TESDA na ginagamit, yung YP4SC. Okay, itong self-assessment naman, na pang-anim na uri ng assessment dito sa aking presentation. Okay, sa aking experience, ito ay bahagi ng tinatawag na rubrics. It's analytic man yan or holistic, ay may provision doon na dapat yung mga bata ay mag self-assessment muna. Ano ba yung grado na binibigyan nila sa kanilang sarili? Bahagi yun doon sa rubrics para ma-assess yung performances. Ito rin, itong pang-pito, peer assessment. Next to self-assessment, there is a provision doon sa rubrics na to measure performance, itong peer assessment. So after nila mag-assess na kanilang sarili, yan, yung classmate naman nila, yung magbibigay ng grado sa kanila. Kasi yung pangatlo niyan ay yung teacher na yung magbibigay ng assessment, yung magbibigay ng grado base doon sa kanilang performance. Okay, number 8, authentic assessment, conducted to evaluate students' learning in real world context. So yung mabibigay ko dito ng halimbawa ay yung sikat na pag-earn natin ng national certificate sa TESDA. Okay, ako kasi TLE major, sa amin pag sa shop, yung mga authentic assessment ay yung mga real jobs, kung ano talaga yung ginagawa. Example, pag-lay ng CHB, concrete hollow blocks, yun talaga sila ng concrete hollow blocks, talagang itatayo nila yun, or plastering. So yan, sila ay mga tinatawag na authentic assessments, mga real jobs, hindi mga pseudo jobs, ng mga para lang simulation. Hindi. Pag authentic assessment, ito ay real jobs. Example ko nga kanina ay yung ginagamit natin o ginagawa natin sa pag-earn ng ating national certificate. Tulad ko sa masonry, yan ang aking national certificate. Nung time na para mabigyan ako ng certificate, talagang nag-lay kami ng CHB at saka nag-plastering. So that is considered as authentic assessment. Number 9, performance assessment. So, itong kinds of assessment, interrelated din ito, tulad ng kinds of evaluation. So, pwedeng na yung authentic assessment mo ay performance, in the form of performance. Basahin natin meaning, conducted to evaluate students' learning through performance task. For example, folk dance yung topic mo, di pagsayawin mo sila. Arts, di paggawan sila ng mga different kinds of arts, no? Sining visual or sculpture. Okay? So, pag sa electrical, no? For example, nahawak ko, ay magwa-wiring. House wiring. So, that is a performance assessment. At the same time, authentic assessment na rin siya. Okay? So, that's all. Thank you for listening.